Aye, Captain.
Hello, Club Culture family. If you're on YouTube, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and hit that bell. And if you're on your favorite streaming platform, thank you for tuning in and make sure you leave us a rating. This is episode 95.
That's a lot.
That's a lot. We got 5 left before we end season 5 in real life. So as we get closer and closer to that 100th episode, I will make sure to ask anybody on this couch, what does club culture mean to you? So I would like to start off the episode with that question to you, Lizzie.
What does club culture mean to me?
Yes.
I think club culture serves as therapy. Like for us, the people that sit on this couch and like how we get to talk about everything that's going on in our lives and things going on around us, how they affect us. And then I think we also get to be vocal and be voices for other people. So it's really therapeutic to get to sit down and talk about how we feel and just daily life, because we don't always get to do that. And I know we used to do that a lot. Like we was in college, we would call each other up, or post-college, we would call each other up and like vent about shit that we got going on. And now we just all old as hell and life be life, and you don't always have time unless you have a therapy session. You don't always have time to get on the phone for like 2 to 3 hours and be like, let me just dump this shit on you real quick.
You're old as hell. Not me.
You old as hell too. But so yeah, it's definitely a great outlet. Definitely some therapeutic stuff going on here. So
I remember watching a podcast and they said that podcast is not supposed to be therapy.
Well,
and I thoroughly disagree.
I think there's a lot of healing going on here.
It definitely is a lot of healing going on here. I appreciate that. I like that. Somebody, the last person that was on the pod, he said that things that has been said on the pod, like me and Josie had an episode talking about telling people to go get a library card. And he went to go take his son to go get a library card. Yeah. He's like, I don't know why I've never done that when this little nigga loves to read. Yeah. And
I don't know the last time I've had a library card.
Yeah. Yeah.
Couldn't even find it if I tried.
Yeah. So I look forward to listen to everybody's like reply to that question. I do intend to have a party to celebrate having 100 episodes and more continued growth. It probably won't be like as soon as we hit 100, but it'll definitely be right after hitting 100. So definitely be looking forward to that. I appreciate you being here at the beginning and coming back.
You're welcome.
You are a great addition to the podcast. A lot of people missed you. So thank you. Now we got a lot of stuff on this dang list, this dang note of topics to get into. Now, over the weekend, your boy CB, your boy Chris Brown.
Don't do it.
Your boy Chris Brown put out a diss record to Quavo.
Weakest link.
Don't
play with it.
Don't play with it?
Don't play with it.
So, what was your initial reaction to the diss?
So, when I first saw it, I actually ran across it on Facebook. And Roll It Up K had posted it. And I was like, ain't no way. Because I think the first diss that dropped, well, they assumed that, well, I don't know if you want to say it was an assumption because it was very clear. And Chris Brown's song, Freak. That he had said something about Quavo. Yeah. And the Migos. Yeah. Okay. Then Quavo came back with some
Tender.
Then Chris Brown came back.
Weakest link.
Okay. So when I first heard Weakest Link, I was laying in the bed. I'm like, oh, this ain't real. Take it back. Yeah. So I listened to it a few times, but the link that I saw was like not the full thing. So the very first time I heard it, full out, we was in the car. And I was like, let's listen to it from the beginning to the end. And by the end of it, I just couldn't believe what I heard. And it was the last line that sealed the deal for me. Body bad singing nigga. Yeah.
That shit did it for you?
That did it for me, like, because like, it's real. Like, we know Chris is very talented, but I've never heard Chris rap before, for real. Okay. Like, and then, like, you're rapping about somebody else, like a diss to somebody else. I've never heard that from Chris. Have you?
Yes.
Oh, I've never heard that from Chris.
He used to do mixtapes just like Trey Songz. They used to do mixtapes and rap a lot.
I've never heard that from Chris. That was my very probably one of my only times ever hearing him rap. Mm-hmm. And so it was pretty impressive to me. Okay. And he actually, I feel like it had some substance. Mm-hmm. It was really good. It was a couple lines in that I had to, you had to, like the Sweetie line, you kind of had to dissect it a little bit.
Not too much.
Not too much. It wasn't that hard. But I mean, Quavo didn't have nothing that you had to dissect in a return. What was the? I don't even know the name of it. What was the name of it?
It was called Tinder.
No, the one that he just recently released.
Over
yesterday.
Bitches, over hoes and bitches, or something like that. Yeah.
We don't even remember the name of it. See?
Nah, don't do that. Don't do that, because I'm going to pull that one up.
We don't even remember the name of it.
I'm going to pull that one up, because I need to see the lyrics on that one and go back to it. So, who you think winning right now in this rap beef?
I think Chris Brown won. And I'm going to be fair. I'm going to be fair. And I'm going to say that I think this last song that Quavo released.
Yes.
What is it?
Over hoes and bitches.
Over hoes and bitches. I think it had a little more bop.
Yes.
It had a little more bop, a little bit more head nod, a little bit more, you know what I'm saying? Okay, the beat catchy. Okay, cool. But if we talking about this and who came for who the best, Chris Brown definitely took the cake on that one.
So list some of the stuff that you remember Chris Brown saying in his diss that you feel like was just hitting more hard than what Quavo said in the latest diss track.
He said, I fucked your bitch while you was still with her.
Yes.
He said, everybody was wishing that you was dead instead of Takeoff.
Yes.
He said, you got body bad singer nigga.
Yes.
And then I feel like Quavo just came back with the obvious. Like in Chris Brown's diss, he said he was Chris Brown already admitted that he was mentally unstable.
Yes.
And then Quavo gonna come back with like, you're a bipolar bitch. Like, okay. Yeah. Then he said you're a bitch. Chris Brown said he's a bitch with dreads.
Yeah.
What did Quavo say that we don't already know? What did Quavo spill tea on that we don't already know about Chris?
I think that's the point.
What's the point?
Now, I don't know if Quavo knew this coming into his diss, that he was doing something impactful with his diss, but I'm going to say why it was impactful. For a celebrity, especially a black male, to come out and say all the things that we have been saying, the people that aren't in love with Chris Brown despite all his behaviors, saying the same stuff that we've been saying for years as they were happening, he's now saying it in his diss, and all of those things are true. We don't need to research it. It is true because it has been in news articles everywhere. Okay. Right? For him to do it, put that on a song and just say, you mad over me over hoes and bitches. Because that's what he kept. You're mad over me over hoes and bitches. He said that in the song Tinder too. That's your beef for me. And all Chris Brown had to say was, I fuck Sweetie when y'all was together. Well, I'm telling you, you mad over me over hoes and bitches. Okay. Right? When is Chris Brown going to say what he actually mad at?
He did say what he was mad at.
What he mad
He's mad about Quavo fucking Karrueche.
Okay. So who actually has the one up?
I don't care who got the one up and who don't.
Yeah.
The issue here is that Quavo got bodied.
I don't think he got bodied. I think he proved
I don't think the world knew that Chris Brown and Sweetie fucked. Did you know that?
What do you mean that I know that?
Did you know that? But prior to the song?
It looked like they fucked when they was at the LA Lakers game. Not LA Lakers, the USC game.
But I didn't know prior to the song that they had fucked.
They sat next together at a women's college basketball game.
So because you sit next to somebody, you fuck somebody?
That's now you know if they take pictures of two people sitting next together at an NBA game, you just start doing speculations. Now I don't know if they fucked. That's just the speculations that was going on when that picture was dropped. Okay. That's it. Now, do I give a fuck that he fucked Sweetie? I don't care either. I don't give a fuck.
I give a flying fuck.
So why do we think he bodied him?
Because I think that as far as when it comes to dissing, like you supposed to hit where it hurt. He didn't say, nigga, Takeoff died and everybody wished it was you instead.
That's the only thing that probably could hurt.
Like, I feel like when it comes to hitting home, Chris hit more home than
Quavo.
See, I don't even know his damn name.
You can act like that. You can act like that.
Then Quavo did and I feel like the stuff that Quavo said is washed up. Like it's just as bad as the fucking fat joke at this point. Like, you know, a motherfucker tell you fat so many times, you just be like, okay, I'm fat.
I don't know about that one, Lizzie.
It is like, it's okay, not. We all know the incident with Rihanna. We all know the incident with Karissa.
No, we all don't know the incident. Who don't? A lot of people don't. A lot of people think the only thing he did was beat up Rihanna.
Okay, and then Chris Brown said to him, "You beat a bitch. So why you talking about me beating bitches?"
Well, now I hate that we even got to get to this point and compare incidents.
Absolutely, because you shouldn't do that.
You should not.
A wrong is a wrong, regardless.
Yes,
but you can't point your finger at me about beating bitches and you beat bitches too.
You definitely can't. But we also can compare the severity of the beating. Come on now, Lizzie.
But beating is beating, though, Samaya.
Beating is beating.
Beating is beating. So beating a wrong is a wrong. Whether you beat me to death or you just gave me a black eye.
Yeah, but when you go to court, the time that the judge will give you for beating on that woman will be different based on the severity.
We not specifying the severity in the rap beef, though.
Yes, we need to. We need to. Because these niggas are really trading shots about beating women.
That's sick.
Both of them need to go to hell.
Period. It's sick, period.
Yes.
But I feel like when we talking about who hit home the most, I think Chris hit home the most.
I disagree with you, and I'm on Quavo's side with who had the better diss, who's winning in this rap beef. Because Chris Brown, only hard thing he said was niggas thought you wanted you gone over Takeoff. Now, all he did was just reveal what we were all saying. We all know that we were saying that. I didn't say it, but I'm saying like Twitter, people was saying this on social media that it should have been Quavo.
So
how's that hard when we know that we said that?
So how do you feel about Chris Brown calling Quavo the weakest link and then putting Takeoff on the song?
I think that's him just saying I don't give a fuck. Like, nigga, it's Amigos. We all like.
I just feel like you already you just proved his point.
You proved that you the weakest link.
Yeah, you got to bring another nigga on your song to make it bop a little bit.
I don't know. I think that just proves, because I had said last episode that it was weak for Drake to use AI in his diss to Kendrick Lamar using Tupac's voice and Snoop Dogg's voice, because you do not have the okay from those people to use them in your diss. And so I come back to now Quavo and Takeoff. Quavo, that's his nephew. Like, you got more of a closer like connection to the person that you finna use in comparison to Drake using Tupac's voice. And so for him to just use his nephew voice, I just feel like that's just him. Because I feel like if Takeoff was alive, he probably would be on Quavo's side right now.
He probably would be.
They probably would do a song together.
But the point was that Quavo is the weakest link, and then you go in.
I don't
add somebody to the track
either way
to enhance what you already gonna put out.
No, because
let's take off part off of it, and let's just do Quavo's verse.
If Quavo would have did garbage, if Quavo would have did the hook instead of Takeoff's voice, it would have been the exact same thing. They sound the same. I mean, their voices don't sound the same, but how they rap is similar.
Do you think that hook was already pre-made?
Yes.
And okay.
Yes.
So let's just take the hook out. Let's create a whole nother version of the song, because if it wasn't for he should have just did it himself.
I'm not mad at that.
I think he should have just did it himself. I feel like that proves Chris's point to like, okay, nigga, you needed somebody else to help you.
I don't know about that. I think that was, for me, I thought that was hard to hear Takeoff voice.
It would have been hard if it was a regular song. Absolutely, we would have loved to hear Takeoff come back on the track.
Yeah, because he gave us a good song. That's what I'm saying. The diss sounds like a song.
It does. I give you that.
Like, I can replay it.
It does.
I'm not replaying Chris Brown shit.
I'll give you that.
Especially what you saying at the end, you got body by a singer nigga. You got body by a singer nigga.
I said that it does have more bop to it, but that's their specialty.
Exactly.
They make bop.
That's my nephew.
They make shit that you can groove to and it sound good. That's their specialty. That's what they do.
That's my talented ass nephew.
But if we going verse for verse, I feel like Chris got the better verse.
If we going song to song, Quavo got the better song.
I'll give you that.
Okay. Now let's talk about them beating on girls.
Okay, what about it?
Because that's all I care about. I swear to God, I don't care about none of this shit we just actually spoke on.
Okay, what about it?
Lizzie, what Chris Brown did in his diss shows what happens when you allow somebody to just get away with things. For him to be like, the fuck you talk about me beating on girls and we saw what you did in the elevator. Mm-hmm. He has, every time people try to bring up what he has done in his past, he always say, well, other people did the shit. Hold them accountable too. When he hasn't been held accountable for real. All he did was community service.
I disagree. I think Chris Brown is tired of people bringing it up.
Well, stop doing shit.
Well, yeah. Well, yeah.
That's the simplest answer.
I mean, well, yeah, but like, okay, the last incident I heard about was Karissa. Mm-hmm. All the other shit, Quavo mentioned the Tiana Taylor situation.
That's very recent.
I don't know about that.
So Usher's birthday party, you remember when they said that they kicked Chris Brown out the party?
I thought that was a Usher and Chris situation that they had got into it.
Because Usher was defending Tiana Taylor.
Okay, I didn't hear about that. I didn't hear about that part.
Quavo spoke on it in his song. So is that not new evidence that you didn't know about?
Okay, but was it what happened though? Like, was he trying to hurt her or?
What I learned was Chris Brown and Tiana Taylor have issues. They once used to be besties. Now they have issues, and it has something about some type of business ordeal that she probably wasn't she didn't have the most integrity behind as far as being his friend. Like, hey, they probably finna take you off, or hey, something like that. And he just felt like she slighted him. You should have like let me know what was going on since you my homie. Mm-hmm. And she didn't. So boom, they beef over whatever the fuck that is. So she was at Usher's party and he didn't like her being there. Chris Brown. Okay. Something like that. That's what I heard in the headlines.
Did he get physical? Or did they just share words or?
Well, according to Quavo, it got physical and it was broken up. Okay. Now, we just need Tiana Taylor to come out and speak on that if she chooses to. That girl got enough
going on right now.
She don't need to because that's what the speculation is, that he put his hands on Tiana Taylor. Mm-hmm. Very recent 2023. Mm-hmm. What else you got to say about your man's and his behaviors?
I'm not defending nothing he does. I think everything that he's doing as far as physical abuse, verbal abuse, whatever, is terrible. I wouldn't want nobody to do that. I just think as far as the Rihanna and Chris Brown situation, I can't speak about no other situation because I feel like people don't bring those up as much. But I feel like
and when you say people, who do you mean by people?
The public eye, or like people who cut him deals, brands, blah blah blah.
Okay, those people. Yeah, corporate people.
Yeah.
Okay.
And even today, I think that situation is still standing in front of him, like keeping him back from big time stages or like big time deals or big time contracts, because that's the first thing people throw in his face like all the time.
Well, with knowing that he's still doing stuff recently. Mm-hmm. If the brands are only speaking on the Rihanna incident, but we as the public know that he's doing stuff in 2023, I could care less if brands are only holding him accountable for the Rihanna stuff because he's still doing shit to today. Mm-hmm. They just don't know about that too. So they low key have more of a right to not bring that nigga on.
Yeah, but usually that's not the reason why. Usually the reason is
Rihanna.
Yeah.
Understand that.
Yeah.
But if now let's say that Club Culture wants to host something and we have a stage, a big stage. Mm-hmm. I know that he's doing recent shit. Mm-hmm. Applebee's just don't.
Right. And you could say all day like, no, I don't want to bring him on because of X, Y, and Z recent situations. Fine. But usually that's not the case. Usually most people are connecting it to Rihanna, the situation that happened back then with Rihanna. So it's just like, I feel like people are dangling this one time over his head. Now, if they were saying like, oh, I don't want to have you here because you have a record of abuse. You have a record of, remember the time on Good Morning America when he threw the chair, or remember the time where, if they brought up all these occurrences and they were like, okay, well, we don't want to bring you on because you have a record, a history, a pattern of domestic abuse, then like I could understand that, but that's usually not what they go for.
So what are we really saying here, Jen? Lizzie? What are we really saying here, Lizzie? Because you said a bunch of nothing to me.
I just think that I'm not saying that Chris Brown should not be held accountable. He absolutely should be. I think that everybody in the industry should be held accountable. I don't think that they should point fingers and say like, oh, well, you did this. No, you did this. Because one is not really worse than the other. They're both really bad. I just think that sometimes Chris Brown is really nailed to the cross because of the situation with Rihanna. And I don't really know why we still hold it over his head, honestly, because they've both done what they needed to do when it comes to the situation. And so who are we to keep nailing him to the cross about it? I just feel like, why do we keep dangling it? It gets old. Like if somebody keep bringing up your past, somebody keep throwing something in your face. Why?
So the whole purpose of jail, what it's supposed to be, is rehabilitation, so that you can go back into society. Now, is that the case with jail? No, but that's what it was supposed to be for. When you're not held accountable for your actions and you're put in a space to rehabilitate, then you're probably not going to rehabilitate, and you're further going to continue to pursue those behaviors. Chris Brown needs a lot of still rehabilitation, no matter how much he tries to stay away from people.
I think he knows that.
Okay, so go do it so that you can actually prove to us.
I don't think that he's not doing it.
How when he's still doing shit?
I don't know what he's doing and what he's not. But as far as the incidents that he's had from 2023 or with Karissa or whatever, I don't know how much help this man is getting. Maybe he needs to get more. Maybe he needs to seek out more. Maybe he needs to seek out better resources. Fuck if I know. I don't know. Maybe it's not working. Maybe he is an abuser.
Maybe he is an abuser.
He probably is.
Maybe he is.
But I mean, like, I'm not saying that he's not. I'm not discrediting that he's not.
Yeah.
I'm just saying the most prominent situation that people tend to bring up
is the Rihanna one. Okay. And the issue with that is there's been a plethora of other ones that are more recent than Rihanna one. So baby, we should start bringing up those two to prove the point that he is probably a serial abuser and not just an abuser that one time.
Okay, so what do y'all want him to do?
Want him to do?
Yeah.
Go get some fucking help and stick with that help and rehabilitate himself. And if he just cannot rehabilitate himself, then stay away from society. But he will not do that because he has all these great talents and skills that people will love for him to share with them, regardless of his actual being a human.
I think if the Rihanna situation did not exist, I don't think that Chris Brown would be held under so much scrutiny.
I think that if the Rihanna situation never exists, he still would have been a serial abuser.
Absolutely, but I don't think that he would be under so much scrutiny. I feel like because that situation was so public and it was so big that
her face was so fucked up.
Yeah, it's never gonna go away. Yeah. And unfortunately, other people have had situations and it goes under the rug. It goes wherever. Like people, it happens and then it's like, okay, well, next. Or the next person comes out where something has happened and whatever, you know. But I feel like maybe Chris Brown is never gonna go away because it was so national. Like it was huge for days. It was posted everywhere.
There's been many things people have came back from. And I think that is really hard to come back from this Rihanna thing when you continue to still do similar behaviors of that thing that you did to Rihanna.
I think if he didn't do anything at all, like if he just had that one situation, he would never live it down.
That's fine. But I just think it makes it very fucking hard for people to forgive you and move on if you keep doing shit. And I do think that these corporate brands are on social media and they see what the general public has to say about Chris Brown when he makes news. They see the people in the comments saying, well, he's done more. There's more to it than just Rihanna. I think they all see these things. Some of these brands have to do their just due and do research before they hire people to come on their platforms. It's really hard to run away from things that have to do with Chris Brown when you can do a simple Google search and see a lot of the shit he's done.
Yes, that's true. And that's what I'm saying, in that I feel like he's always going to be under scrutiny because it's very national with him when it comes to stuff that he's done. And other people have done very bad things too. And because it's not so prominent to know about, then like they don't get the same scrutiny. But behind closed doors, they've done some of the same shit. They snort cocaine. And I'm not saying it's right or making an excuse for him, but I don't think that people across the board get the same punishment or the same response that he does.
He's a superstar, and he's a black, and he's a black man. Mm-hmm. Those are the cards you dealt with. Should have been born white.
Now, Tamaya,
that's should have been born white.
Now, I'm not gonna say nothing to that, but
now, I got a question for you. Do you think that he deserves to be treated differently?
What do you mean?
Do you think differently that he in a bad way? Less fleck for his past aggressions with Rihanna?
I think that because they have both done whatever they needed to do to deal with that situation, I think the public eye needs to rest their necks.
Okay.
That's just how, like, if me and you had something and me and you decided to call it a truce, like, okay, it's cool.
Yeah.
But everybody else just kept like egging it on, saying stuff about it. I'm sure it's traumatic for Rihanna to get online and be reminded of that all the time. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure it's traumatic for him too. Mm-hmm. I just think that sometimes the media should just, you don't have to forget stuff, and it's really not our jobs to forgive because it wasn't done to us. But I think that they should chill a little bit. Like, I feel like he was never given a fair second chance at a clean slate.
You missing context, Lizzie.
I don't think that he was ever given a fair, like.
Let's see. When did that Rihanna thing happen?
I don't know if I don't know. I feel like Chris Brown was never.
Thing was 2017 when she got her restraining order against him. Tiana Taylor is 2023. Mm-hmm. Fighting Frank Ocean was between 2027, 2023, or maybe before.
I mean 2017, 2023.
Yeah, the fights with Drake and it's just. I can keep going, Lizzie. The Good Morning America, Chris Brown and Rihanna's fight. I just want to get the date.
I think it was 2009.
I just want to get the date real quick. Fuck.
I want to say 2009. Let's see. I want to say it was
2009.
Yeah.
2009. Okay. Yeah. So 2009, and you say that he didn't get a fair fight to come back into good graces.
Right after that situation, he went on Good Morning America and he told them, "Don't ask me any questions about the Rihanna situation." They got on there and did exactly that, and that's why he went in the back and fucking swung the damn chair into the mirror. And I don't feel like nobody since that situation with Rihanna has given him like a clean slate and said like, okay, we're going to give you a chance to redeem yourself. I feel like it's always been, remember this, remember you did this, don't forget you did this. Like, even with the good that he tries to do, or even with his talent, it's just like, yeah, but you still, it's just always dangled in his face. I don't know. And maybe he'll never not be an abuser. Who fucking knows? I just feel like it's not my job to pin you to the cross. I got my own shit. You got your own shit. Everybody get their own shit. I'm not saying it's right.
I can only speak for myself.
You can.
I hold anybody and myself accountable for doing things that they know that they ain't supposed to fucking do.
Absolutely.
So I ain't like these casuals that's in the comments that probably don't hold people accountable for real. Hold him accountable. Hold other people accountable.
What do you want them to do to him?
To him? Don't stop inviting him to shit. To take it back.
Is that helping?
Chris Brown, if you don't want to deal with people that are serial abusers, just stop dealing with them.
Okay. And what's supposed to happen?
The whole ordeal that he had with the whole NBA celebrity game and Ruffles. Don't do y'all due diligence and research to know who the fuck finna be at these games. And make sure that you communicate. We ain't dealing with people that have bad reps. Do y'all research. It's as simple as that, so that we can stop talking about Chris Brown in his issues unless it becomes recent acts like him putting his hands on Tiana Taylor.
So what would you like to be done to him?
Nothing to be done with him. Let him continue to live his life, do whatever the fuck he do.
Do you think he should have supporters or no?
Supporters?
Yeah. Do you
People
think he
can
should
do whatever they want to do. Mm-hmm. But me, I don't support Chris Brown.
Okay.
I'm not going to go buy a ticket to go see him perform. I could care less how many flips he does. I don't care. I don't support abusers.
But you support Trey Songz.
I don't.
You listen to his music.
No, I don't.
Tamaya.
I don't.
Oh my God.
We can ask my girlfriend right now.
Tamaya.
We can ask my girlfriend right now.
Okay, Tamaya.
I'm sorry.
All right, Tamaya.
I'm sorry.
All right, Tamaya.
And two things can be true at the same time. We just had this conversation on the pod last episode with Michael Jackson and R. Kelly. Both accused of pedophilia. One was acquitted of crime, but never was acquitted, but charges were not dropped. And the other one was proven not guilty. Michael Jackson's proven not guilty. R. Kelly is acquitted. Two totally different things. Support Michael Jackson all you want because he proved that he's not guilty.
You could prove you're not guilty and still
be guilty. So it's based off of that person if they want to choose to still support that person or not. But they were proven not guilty. How much else you want this person to do to prove that they didn't do what they say that they didn't do? Now I could be upset when they say that was not true. Like he paid the niggas off. I could do all the theories I want to, but when it comes to Trey Songz, nobody has came to convict this nigga of something criminal. And when that does happen, it is a severe absolute no. I don't support you. But for now, you have not been convicted of anything.
I don't know, because you could get away scot-free for something that you absolutely did. And you could also be punished for something that you didn't do at all.
Yes.
At the end of the day, it was still on the table.
Yes, but you asked me what do I want to happen to Chris Brown? Live his life, but I won't support him. And you asked me about Trey Songz, but you support Trey Songz.
Yeah.
His situation is different from Chris Brown's.
I don't know.
Now you can ask my girlfriend. I don't willingly go support Trey Songz music. It has been this way since 2020.
I feel like there's not really anything much we could do when it comes to Chris as far as supporters. People are going to support who they want to support. They're going to back up who they want to back up. And as far as him getting help, does he need help? Probably so. Does he need to get it? Probably so. Does he need a better resource? Obviously, if it keeps happening. But I would just like to see people stop dangling the Rihanna situation in his face.
You would like to dangle Karissa?
If that's what you want to do.
Because my whole point with you saying this whole Rihanna shit is that he's still stuff to dangle.
If that's what you want to do, then fine, dangle whatever. But like I feel like it's fucked up to keep dangling something in somebody's face when somebody else has already called it a truce with them. Like they have already worked out their issues. So what's the point? Who are we? Like he didn't do it to us,
it ain't our
and
place.
we're not in it. So who are we?
First off, studies will show that people, survivors of domestic violence, tend to always go back to their perpetrator, their abuser. We don't know what space Rihanna actually is in. All I know is that she is happily with somebody else with 3 kids. She ain't worried about that nigga. But we don't know if she actually has PTSD. We don't know none of that stuff. She's never actually really spoke on it. So to say, oh, well, she forgave him because they started back dating for like a few months and then they did a song together. That was cute, but we still don't really fucking know. So if this person chooses to say, hey, I'm cool on dealing with bro just because of that situation, that's up to them to do that. We can't be mad at niggas that want to support, and we also can't be mad at people who do want to support. Just choose to be with the nigga. Just rock out with the niggas that's on your side, I guess. I don't know. I don't really give a fuck. I just care that I'm not supporting.
Yeah, well.
Now we're going to move on to Jill Scott.
I don't know.
Because Jill Scott, she tweeted this on Twitter. So Jill Scott said she at Chris Brown and said, he's amazing. How does anybody sing like that? dance, look, act, and rap like that, beyond gifted. It appears exceptional people have to go through exceptional fire. There's nothing to debate. So somebody replied to that tweet and was like, "What? I think the people that he abused would disagree." And so she replied and said, "I doubt it. My mother's ex-husband was a mean, violent human, and he could lay foundation better than anyone in my city. What he did with cement was all inspiring. We got away, he got a raise, and praise for his ability. God dealt with the rest." And so then she did say to that same person, "I love you too. I'm not here to fight anyone else's battle. Since women hear the stories, they should avoid that street. Running backwards in movie traffic makes no sense. Therapy for every damn body." So let's start at the top. Jill Scott is messy because this is her second tweeting after hearing diss records.
Maybe she like it. She into it.
Her ass is messy. She tweeted after she heard J. Cole and K. Dot and all of them. Mm-hmm. It said, "This is great for rap." Da, 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 da.
Right.
And now she heard Chris Brown diss and she want to say this shit. This nigga is exceptional. Mm-hmm. How do you say this nigga is exceptional after hearing a diss record of him saying your nephew should be alive and you should be dead?
Hey, that's rap beef. That's how it goes.
She didn't want to wait till he like give us maybe his album 1111. Say, "Oh my God, he's great."
Nope. She said this shit fire. Period. A period, Jill.
Now, social media ate Jill Scott up, and social media also decided to side with Jill Scott on this, right? And so I don't really got comments on this first tweet where she gave him flowers. Mm-hmm. I personally am in the middle when it comes to talking about a person's talent and talking about the person as just the human. Mm-hmm. I'm in the middle on like, I don't know. I'm in the middle of that shit because people use their talents as a justification for why they should continue to support that person, even if they deem to be menaces to society. Mm-hmm. I don't agree with that part, but I am like confused on, you still could give them flowers just because you think they're talented, but it's like, what is your point of doing so right now? Mm-hmm. It's a little skeptical, Jill Scott. Why are you doing this right now when the nigga just put out a fucking diss record and he was saying some harmful stuff in it?
Mm-hmm. Well, I don't know. I don't see anything wrong with her like giving the flowers, but I do get what you mean by like, why now? Yeah. Why she didn't do it like any other time?
Yeah.
But I think something that people noticed in this time when he released the diss track was like, damn, Chris Brown can rap too? Like, what the fuck can this man not do? Mm-hmm. And so maybe that's why she went ahead and made this tweet. Mm-hmm. I agree with her on the second one though, where she said, not the whole jibber jabber in the middle, but the last. We definitely gonna talk about that middle one. Scroll up. The last line where she said, "God dealt with the rest." That I just feel like we be so busy, and this is what I'm saying. And I hate to get biblical or like bring up scripture. Yeah. But like we be so quick to judge other people. That is not our job. Mm-hmm. That is not what we're here for. Is it bad to know that you did something wrong? Absolutely. But that's between you and God. I hope y'all figure that shit out. And I hope you get the help that you need. And I hope you show up in the right places that you need to show up. Mm-hmm. But it is not my job to scrutinize you, or is it my job to say, hey, friend, maybe you shouldn't have did that? Sure. But if you continue to do it and it's something embedded in your character, that is something that I humanly cannot help you with. Mm-hmm. That is something that you have to go to God about. Mm-hmm. Like there has to be a power bigger than me that can work on the inside of you, because whatever I have to say, however many deals, however many contracts, however many brands I break with you, it's not doing it for you. Mm-hmm. Obviously, you need something greater than me and other humans here. So I agree with Jill that God's going to deal with it. However he sees fit, however things are supposed to pan out for you, that's how it's going to happen. And so when people get online and are like, well, you did this and that third, and you're a bad person because of this, that, and the third. John just shot at Uncle Leroy last week. Why are we sitting up here scrutinizing somebody for something that they did when we got our own shit going on? Let God deal with that part.
So we should scrutinize John?
No, I'm not saying we shouldn't scrutinize anybody. I'm saying that why do we think it's our job to judge other people for the things that they have done? Why is that not like you say like you could say you don't agree with it, or you could say like I don't want nothing to do with that, I'm gonna just back off, or I don't want to support. You could say that all day. But like, why do we think it's our job to judge other people for the things that they have done and pin them up against the wall? I don't think that's my job. I think I could say you're right or wrong, and I can agree or disagree, but then move on from it. You know what I'm saying? Why do I have to publicly embarrass you and throw stones at you? And I just don't know if that's my place. I think God will deal with it is the perfect statement for all of that. Like, why are we so attached to wanting to throw somebody up against the wall and throw stones at them when they're already exposed and already being badgered by shit that's going on around them?
I think it's because that now only just leaves us to focus on the good in the person, which is not probably the most ideal to do. So if you're saying leave everything else, leave all the bad to God, but leave the good to us to get flowers for, I think that has flaws in it, because
I don't think you have to leave all the good. I'm not saying leave out all the bad and then just tell me what's good. I don't think you have to do that. If you don't want to support a person, you don't support them. But I just don't think it's our job to just hammer somebody about the bad shit that they've done. Like, why?
It's not our job, but we have the ability to do so. So if you choose to do it. Cool.
I also think we just care too much about like people that we don't even have any connection to.
I think we need to care. I think everything we say on this podcast is a complete contradiction if we then say we shouldn't care about others and what they do in their personal lives, because it has been said many times, and definitely by me, that what you do affects the greater community. So when you do things, you need to consider how this will affect the greater community. So if I'm out here beating on my girlfriend that is the mother of my child, that child will grow up and probably commit that same act to maybe Lizzie's daughter. What you do affects the greater community. So we need to all hold everybody accountable to make better decisions, more rational decisions instead of irrational decisions. That's like saying during slavery, shit, old dude over there beating the fuck out of Lizzie black ass.
I feel like accountability and
judgment
are two different things. I can tell you all day, I think that's wrong. I think you shouldn't do that. And I think that's going to fuck up the next person, blah, blah, blah. You can hold somebody accountable. And if they choose to get help, then they choose to get help. If they don't choose to get help, then that's on them. But what I'm saying is there's a difference between holding somebody accountable and saying, hey, I don't think that's a good idea. I think you should try this instead. Versus saying, you're an abuser, you're a terrible person, I don't think you should do this, I don't think you should do that, and I don't think you should ever see the light of day, or I don't think good shit should come to you, I don't think you should ever be able to redeem yourself from this because you did this. I think those are two very different things. And what's constructive about judgment? Nothing is constructive about that. We're not getting anywhere. And so that's why the dangling keeps happening. Like, it's not that we're holding him accountable at this point. It's like, nah, nigga, remember you did this? Like,
I think because us as a community don't all come together on the same accord to hold people accountable, we have situations like this with Chris Brown. We have a large majority that chooses not to hold him accountable, and we have a whole other people that want to hold him accountable. And so he's able to flourish and gain further stardom in his life because he has this whole community of people that will not hold him accountable for being a poor human being in areas. And that's why we in this little whole debacle now where we have two people pulling strings in different ways. We all need to be on one accord and say, hey, it's not right to abuse others. And not just women and men, because he's abused multiple. That's just simple as that. And fuck your talents, because your talent should not overpower your actions and behaviors to other human beings. I think that's just as simple as it should have been and we wouldn't still be having these conversations. And we definitely need to do the same thing to every other person that present these similar behaviors.
Mm-hmm. I agree. I understand what you're saying. I just think that maybe the message should come from somebody who's closer to him.
Mm-hmm.
And
it's hard to do that when you burn your mama house down too. I'm sorry, Lizzie. It's just...
I think that message should come from somebody who is on the same... And it's going to sound fucked up, but it's just like, Chris Brown... He not really checking for none of us, even though like we're fans, supporters, or whatever. Mm-hmm. He not checking for none of us. So, or even if you're not a fan or a supporter, you hate his fucking you hate everything that he stand for, whatever. Okay, he not checking for us. So, unfortunately, people on a larger scale don't really care until it's hitting their pockets, mm-hmm. and it has hit his pockets in some ways, and then but he's still able to stay afloat. So, I think that this message is supposed to come from somebody that's closer to him that can probably have more access to him. I don't know that us arguing or debating about it in the comment section is going to do it, because it obviously still hasn't done it for him. So and that's my point in saying, like, we spend hours at a time in a year in the comment section mm-hmm. about somebody else's life mm-hmm. that don't even... Like, I feel like it's out of our control. Like, what are we, even if we got on there 50 times a day and said, Chris Brown, you need to go get therapy. You need to go get therapy. Okay, he know that.
We don't know if he know that, Lizzie. We don't know that. Because if the nigga could say on a diss record, I'm fucked up.
He said I'm mentally unstable. He know.
But he don't know that he need to probably go get some help. Or that could be, I'm aware that I'm fucked up, but that don't mean I'm finna go do shit about it. That just
I think Chris is very aware that he needs to go get help. Okay. I doubt for 10 seconds that Chris Brown is just sitting there like, oh yeah, I'm completely fine. Okay. Especially if he does cocaine. Now that is alleged. I've never seen the man snort. I don't know. Okay. But I don't think that Chris doesn't think that he needs help. I think he knows that.
He didn't reject it in the diss record that he don't do drugs.
He did it.
He definitely admitted to being...
He said, I'm going back to that same dealer, actually.
Yeah.
Hey,
man.
What can we do?
The people that support Chris Brown they have weird judgment mm-hmm. as well. Because you are promoting this person that definitely needs clinical help mm-hmm. for the sake of your own entertainment. Mm-hmm. When he has told you, mm-hmm. I fucked up. Mm-hmm. I'm finna go right back to that drug dealer. Mm-hmm. And you're like, fuck yeah. Mm-hmm. Do a flip, nigga. Mm-hmm. Drop another hit, nigga. Mm-hmm. No one has said, oh my God, I really hope that my favorite artist, Chris Brown, goes to therapy and gets the help that he needs so that he can come out and rehabilitate himself and give us good music. No, it's like, I don't give a fuck if that nigga snort lines. He the coldest crackhead I know.
I feel like that's a lot of artists though. Like mm-hmm. a lot of artists have sung about being suicidal. A lot of artists have sung about popping pills, doing drugs. And we are all like, this shit fire.
That's
like,
the issue.
Like, keep doing that shit.
Yes.
It's relatable.
That's the issue. That's my issue with Jill Scott's tweets.
Of saying that they're talented.
Yes. Jill Scott, he can be talented as fuck. And you also can acknowledge that the nigga probably needs some therapy for you to say, well, who she say? My mother's ex-husband was mean and violent.
Well, she did say in her last tweet, everybody needs to get therapy. So
it took for you to get prompted to say those things. People were replying to her tweets, and she's replying to those tweets with more context to it instead of leading with that.
I think, like, people will pick apart everything that you say.
Okay.
People will literally pick apart everything that you say, and you cannot satisfy everybody all at the same time.
You don't think that's wild?
And saying what about her mom? I think that's absolutely wild.
Wild.
I think that's absolutely wild. Okay, so what? I don't give a fuck that your mom's ex-husband laid concrete and he was a great guy, but he was violent. I don't care. Uh-huh. Like, that's absolutely wild to say. Uh-huh. And that doesn't validate the fact that he's crazy as hell. He probably needs to get help. Uh-huh. Absolutely. Uh-huh. I just agree with the fact that Jill is saying, like, this issue is bigger than me and you. Mm-hmm. y'all need to go get help.
If she would have did none of that shit and just said, this is bigger than me and you, cool. That right there speaks to you being a survivor of abuse.
Mm-hmm. I just don't think we can control like how people respond to stuff, and
we can't. But we also can hear how they speak, hear how they retain information, and categorize them.
Hey, oh no,
we gonna move forward from this shit though, because we spend a lot of time on this. It's a large topic.
It is. It's a lot to dissect.
Yeah, it's a lot. But we're gonna skip over to quickly on Beyonce's video that she dropped, showing that she uses her hair products and she has long, real, good black African American hair
called sacred,
right? What we was just speaking on with this Jill Scott shit, how you talk, how you retain information, we can put you in a category. The people that needed for her to prove and show that her hair is long and healthy, and she gives you this video, and you still come out and say that video is fake and her hair that she's showing is fake and could be a glueless wig in the front. You saw people saying that?
No, but I thought it.
You thought that too?
I thought it.
Lizzie, you are part of that category. Why did you think that?
Well, Beyonce shows us her hair in the video, and it looks nice. We've all known that Beyonce actually, well, I don't know if we all know, but I've known for a very long time that Beyonce actually has long natural hair. However, the front seemed a little perfect. It didn't give hairline. Okay. It gave glueless.
So you didn't see a headline?
I did.
How shit look like yours?
No, somebody. It was very straight cut.
Okay.
It was.
Okay.
It was. I'm not saying that.
Maybe I missed something, but I didn't see it like
her
that.
products probably do work. I don't know. I've never tried them. And I'm assuming. Well, what I actually went to the Instagram page, and there's actually some white women on there. There's some black women on there.
Yes.
It seems like it's supposed to be something for the masses, like for everybody, not just for black people.
Yes.
So, yeah, I thought that in the video, you know, maybe in the end she had a few clip-ins in or something. I don't know. It looked kind of full compared to what we saw at the beginning. I don't know.
So you think that throughout the process of the video, she didn't added something to the
front? She could have.
But you did seem like you saw her hair in the front.
Yeah, and
when it was curly and shit and wet.
Yes. When it was curly and wet in the beginning of the video, I think that was her hair.
Okay.
As the video goes on, though, I think that there are some things that are taken away, added, blah, blah, blah. At the end, where she shows the final product of her hair with like the curls and stuff, I think that there is something added in there to make it full.
Okay. Yeah, I don't see that, but you know natural hair better than me. That don't mean I agree with you. That just means that maybe.
What did you think? You thought you saw natural all the way through?
Yes, all the way through.
Okay,
all the way through.
Okay.
No tracks and stuff added. No extensions. Looks like this is her real hair.
Okay.
So why do we need for her to give us a video of it and still prove after giving us a video that this is her real hair?
I don't think she got to prove it. It's either you buy the products or you don't. I like me personally, if I saw that video and I wanted to try the products, I'd probably just go get them. I don't, she could prove it if she wants to, but I mean, like, this is what I'm saying. In like people, you can never satisfy the masses. There's always, even if she sat in front of the camera and split her hair open and yanked at it, people are still gonna say nah, but you added something in the back, or you did something, or the video is chopped up and it's edited and this and that.
There's got to be a category that we got to put these people in. They either some haters and they hate Beyonce, or they are anti-black and they have some self-hate for their blackness. To believe that you are black and cannot have long, luscious hair.
Absolutely.
Like she does.
Absolutely.
And others does that are actually Southern from Texas, black. I think this is a lot of self-hate rooted in these responses to the video that are still naysayers.
Haters is definitely always a possibility. You always got the girls that got their hair permed when they was 3 years old and never grew back.
Yeah.
I mean,
and I think that it's wild to even to still think that that's not her real hair when she has the resources and the help and money to keep up with her hair. You don't have that, so you probably really can't attain that healthy hair that she has, and she colors her hair. So the maintenance is there, and she shed it in the video. Instead of perms and relaxers, I color my hair. So this is me showing y'all my hair with color and maintaining it in the video. Hey man,
I don't know. I feel like you can never satisfy people, and it's either you gonna support or not.
Okay.
And I don't know. I don't know if I would. I'm curious to know who's helping her create the brand. I will say that. Because she has a brand that is supposed to be used for everyone. Yeah. So what ingredients are you putting in it that's supposed to be used across the board? Or do you have different lines for different hair textures? I haven't dug that deep into it, so I don't really know. Because I'm curious how something that's for white women is supposed to work on black women's hair.
That's a solid question.
Yeah. Okay. I'm curious to know. I don't really know if she has like different lines for different hair textures or if it's just like one product that is supposed to be used across the board. I'm curious to know that.
From a marketing standpoint, Beyonce has never really proven that she's good at marketing her products and creating like a household name for a product line like Fenty Beauty has. And so just this product alone shows that it's very on brand for Beyonce to not have like a real solid marketing plan behind a product to make and ensure that it can be long lasting of a product. So I'm interested to see where she takes this because hair products is definitely something that can really make or break a business for real to where it want to go. Because whether it's only for black hair, that means you can only sell it to black people, and those people tend to have less income. Or if it's for everybody, you got to prove that it is for everybody, and then you might scare away the black people. So I'm interested to see how this product goes. Yeah, but moving on, moving on to the next it girl in the music scene, Taylor Swift. So Taylor Swift dropped the album. We are not promoting it. We are just claiming that she dropped the album, right? And so it was a song from that album called I Hate It Here. I recommend if you are on YouTube or on your favorite streaming platform to go check out that song and then come back to the episode to follow along with us. But in that song, she speaks about how her friends and her would pick a time era that they would like to go back to get away from being in current time, and they would wish to live there instead. So they would imagine themselves in that era. And so she decided to say, well, I want to go back to the 1830s, but without all the races and getting married off to the highest bidder. Because she says, now that I'm thinking back on the 1830s, it wasn't that fun then. Seems like it was never that fun. Nostalgia is a mind trick. I'd hate to be there. Now, speaking on categories. How would you categorize a white woman, one of the most famous white women in all of white women, making a song about choosing to be in the 1830s where there was slavery that existed? Women didn't have the right to vote on property. They were just a man's property. Native Americans were relocated and pushed away from their homelands by white settlement in America. They had to endure the Trail of Tears, which was a long ass fucking walk to get away from where they were born to somewhere other part of America, where you had other wars and battles happening in America. much privilege you got to have to make a song like that?
Well, I've never been a fan of Taylor. I don't care if the Swifties come for me. I could really give a fuck. But I'm curious to know, because after doing the research and looking all the stuff up, curious to know what it is about the 1830s that she is wanting to bring back.
So supposedly that was a good era for literature. And her whole little theme of the album is called The Tortured Poets Department.
Okay.
So I guess she's being on brand with her album cover. Her album title of literature.
Right.
And I guess poetry was a rave. A rave then.
Well, of course, I guess that would be great for her, because she wouldn't have to deal with the stuff that people dealt with that were oppressed. I'm curious to know how many followers Taylor has that are black and brown. Because it's giving that there's not a whole lot. And if they are, they're probably Oreos.
Okay. Oreos?
Yeah.
What's an Oreo?
Oreos is that you're black on the outside and white on the inside.
Got you. Okay.
Are you being for real, or are you saying that for the masses?
I've never heard that.
You've never heard the term Oreo?
I've heard the term Oreos, but not used the way you just used it.
Oh.
But keep going.
Oreos are people who are black, for maybe other people who haven't heard. People who are black outside. But on the inside, they're probably whitewashed or have no connection with their blackness.
Got you. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I say that because if she did have a bigger following, I feel like more people will be enraged about that line. Yeah. A black or brown. If she had a bigger black or brown following, I feel like more people would be enraged about that line, because, bitch, what the fuck do you mean? What the fuck do you mean? Of course you would want to go back, bitch, because there was nothing bad happening to you. Except the racist, like, bitch.
We couldn't vote. We were just the man's property.
I'll hit you in the head with this mic. Please.
That was her thought process. That's what she told us.
Again, I'm curious to know. Because by the sounds of it, it's just like, there's no way. And what's the people that's supposed to review shit to make sure shit is politically correct in the music industry?
Hey.
The PRs? Is that what they call? The ARs, the PRs? What are they called?
A&Rs.
Where are they?
Hey, man. Hey.
That's sick. What were your thoughts when you heard it? How did you pause? What the hell made you go look up a Taylor Swift song, first of all?
I saw the people talking about it.
Okay.
I saw the people talking about it, and I'm like, okay, let me go check it out. Get my own little, perspective on it. And I was like, okay, Lizzie, check this out.
Okay. I just want to make sure you wasn't in here tapping your foot to...
Fuck no. First of all, y'all done heard me speak on Taylor Swift enough. The girl can't sing.
Well...
And now that I'm actually really this one song, the girl with the writing abilities is a little off too. Because for you to write a song like this and not think about how stupid this song is, maybe you're a stupid writer.
Damn.
Because that was stupid. I don't know how many stupids I got to put out there.
Right.
There's no way you could go back to a time era and say, but not that.
Right.
And definitely not that.
It wouldn't be that time era without
it wouldn't be that time era.
Right. A lot of Taylor Swift stuff I just have to press next on. Like, I have to turn the radio station. I have to come up out. I can't.
And then it's like, I get when people be like, well, the beat was hard. This song was ass.
Damn.
Fuck the lyrics. The beat was going crazy. This
Yeah,
song was ass.
I was trying to listen to it on the first go round, and I was like, and I've been trying to give it the benefit of the doubt because I'm like, Taylor Swift is not my genre of music, right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, maybe it's just I don't like how she sounds, but I couldn't even get through like the first half of the song. I was like, can I turn this off? I'm miserable.
I say that I go back to the 1830s, but with all the races. That's how the fucking song sound.
Somebody else.
We would look a decade. My friends will play a game.
Oh.
The shit was ass, bruh.
That's Taylor Swift though. She been like that for years since she came out. They love her.
I guess, man.
They love her.
We gonna move on from this. We said enough on her.
They love her.
All right, so there was a caller. Well, not a caller. I'm sorry. I tweaked. There was a commenter, a supporter of the podcast. Her name is Karissa. She had left a comment on the episode we had, the kid versus the parent, episode 89. And she gave us her backstory, a little bit into her upbringing. So I told her we will have her call in on the pod so that we can get a more in-depth conversation with her. So I'm going to call Karissa. And while I do that, we got to put these headphones in so we can hear. All right. So let me go ahead and call her. Hopefully she answers. Because it's been a minute.
Just a couple hours.
Oh, boy.
Hello?
Hello? Karissa? Hello?
Can you hear me?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, this is T from the Club Culture Podcast calling you back.
Hey. Yeah.
How you doing? I got Lizzie here with me.
Hey, Karissa.
Hey, Lizzie.
Hey.
Hi. Oh, my goodness.
So we are currently shooting an episode, and we wanted to call you because of the comment that you had left on episode 89, where there was me and Lizzie. And we were talking about just the indiscretions between the child and the parent and just reacting to that viral clip of me speaking on my parents. And so we wanted to dive into it with you a little bit more on the comment that you had left. So if you could please just summarize the comment that you left for the viewers that are listening to this episode, and then just give us a little bit more on why you possibly felt the need to want to put that comment there, and just give us just your reasons behind it.
I felt the need to say that because I've been trying to scream my truth my entire life, and nobody wants to hear it. And just to know that there was another Black little girl that was going through the same shit that I was, beat the fuck up for no reason, you know, like it just goes deeper, you know. I was saying, like, they had no reason to. I'm not trying to say that I don't want to be alive or anything, but like, if you know that cannot financially, mentally even have like the capacity and a home to have a child, don't do it. I slept on the couch until I was 10. I did not have a place to stay until the rest of my siblings got the house because we just didn't have enough rooms for everybody, you know?
Yeah.
And the psychological torture, the physical torture, and everything else that came with that burden of having another life to feed into. They just didn't have it mentally. And I don't know, like I said, I felt seen because nobody else was talking about that. Nobody says, fuck their mama. I'm 10 toes down in that, and the nigga ain't even alive. Like, and I wouldn't even, you know, there was nothing for me to do. My hands was tied my whole life, and no matter what I did, no matter how good I was, that never brought the mother out of her to me. She just didn't have it in her. And I mean, outwardly, you know, she kept up with appearances and all that blase crap. But I just really felt seen the way you said that, like the way that I felt as a child. Nobody should ever, ever, ever have to wonder, does my mom love me? Or like looking at somebody, mom giving them a hug before school and them saying, I love you, have a good day. I never had that shit. And my mom worked at the school I went to, goddammit. Like, it was just sad and so unnecessary. There was a point in time that, yes, the teachers were like seeing the physical abuse, and it was a new teacher that came one year, and she did the right thing and reported it, like how every other teacher should have done. But, you know, my mom had been working at that school for 20-something years, and they kind of knew to just shut the fuck up about it, about anything that they saw. That school just didn't want no smoke. They did not want to have any bad publicity. So what ended up happening is that they interviewed my sister, and she said, "Oh, she never spanked us kids." She got it worse than I did, because she and my mom had the same personality, and they butted heads. But that was the golden child. So 30 minutes later, they was making up and doing whatever. But that's fine. You know, I'm glad that she had a good-ish relationship with somebody. Yeah. That was the only one out of the four of us that she really had a good relationship with. Incidentally, that sister has also passed. Rest in peace, my sister. But, sorry, I kind of started chasing rabbits there. To wrap that up, yes, I really feel like there is a large population of our generation whose parents should have either A, given us up, or two, asked for help in some way, shape, or form. I should have been living with somebody, one of my uncles, aunts, somebody, because this just was not it. And if you can just be real and truthful and say, I can't do it, you know, I would have had a much better life. I'm in such a better position now, but it took me so long to get here. Like, I'll be 30 on May 11, and I'm just not getting back to school because I had to stop everything for her, because I was still living in the house when she got sick. And so, fuck your scholarship, you taking care of me now. What? I just started this semester. I can't. What do you mean? I got it. I put in 18 years already. Like, I've been your slave for 18 years. What you mean I got to do it some more after I just got to a point where I might be able to branch out and do it on my own? Yeah. And that's okay. It just matters that I started again. And so I'm in nursing school now. In 2 years, I'll be an RN. Okay. In 2 more years, I'll be a BSN. And then 2 more years, I'll be for my anesthesiology. So I'll be a CRNA. Okay, I'm trying to do my big one. But because I deserve it. And I really, you know, feel that I was stunted in life because of my upbringing. I have real bad PTSD from it. I am medicated. Yeah. There's so much stuff that I haven't even said, and I don't even know how heavy you want to get into it or how much time I have or anything, but like, she really did fuck me up, because it wasn't just her fucking me up. Yeah. Like, she hated me so much, she took me to other people to get fucked up. If you catch my drift. And that really, you know, how you hate somebody that much? You're supposed to be my mom. Like, that's why I said I never had a mom. So, she fucking hated me.
Karissa, I do want to ask you a question.
Go ahead.
Were you able to ever learn about your mother's upbringing?
Oh, yeah. So my grandma is a huge narcissist, and I don't talk to her to this day. I went no contact with her whenever she bought a plane ticket for my mom's funeral and just didn't bother showing up. How you don't come to your daughter's funeral, I don't know. But yeah, my grandma was a huge narcissist. I do speak with my aunt, my mom's sister, and she actually went to therapy herself to break that cycle, because she's got 4 daughters. And she said, ain't no way I'm going to be the same because I see that pattern. But yeah, my grandma, she was like this. Children should be seen and not heard. And the only time that my mom was ever praised by her mom was if she did something that pertained to church, if she sang well, if she looked good. So my mom was like really heavy into fashion and looking good and singing wherever she could. So she sung in the choir. She sung, like in theater, the local civic center, whatever you want to call it, musicals and stuff like that. But her life was all about making her mom look good.
Yeah.
And so I understand that people are a product of how they raised, but like at some point you have to ask yourself, is that what you really wanted? And is that what I want for my kids?
Mm-hmm.
Because I know she couldn't have been that comfortable. Just her whole life was a musical. It was an act. It was a scene. It wasn't a life, you know? She lived her life to get a paycheck to go buy things because that's what she wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
That's why she went to work. So she had money to go shop. She didn't give a fuck about us kids. She didn't pay not nary a bill. My poor dad. And then whenever eventually I started working, I, gave up my paycheck for the house because that sort of thing just keeps tunneling into other things, credit card debt and writing hot checks and shit like that. It got worse and worse, and I had to pitch in. She never had to do that because her father was an officer in the military, so she was used to the high life. She didn't even grow up in the States. She grew up in Italy and Germany. She's a military brat.
Mm-hmm.
And it ain't got shit to do with anything, but she knew that she should not have been having no damn 4 kids.
So, learning more about your mother's upbringing, do you think that it gives you any type of like comfort or solace in how you were treated as a child? Just knowing that your mom had a rocky upbringing as well, or does that make you feel indifferent?
It makes me feel indifferent because she was spoiled.
Gotcha.
She was just spoiled. She didn't have any repercussions. She never had to learn how to cook. She never had to learn how to clean. Whereas here I am, 5 years old, cooking for the family.
Mm-hmm.
Why I'm doing that? I should be watching Barney. Like, I understood how she was, but at the same time, they didn't give me a pass in my mind for how she treated us.
Yeah.
Not just me, us.
Yeah.
So.
You got any questions for Karissa? Karissa? I'm sorry. Karissa.
I don't. I'm just taking it all in. It's a lot. It's a lot to hear.
I know. I'm sorry.
No. You're fine.
Yeah.
It's a lot to hear. It's a lot to take in at one time. I don't have any questions off the top of my head.
Okay.
It's just always very interesting to hear people's story and different things that they come from.
Yeah. So I do want to ask you, because we spoke a lot about your mom, where was your father in this entire equation?
Trying not to get his ass beat too, because he got it just as much as we did.
So your mom used to abuse your dad too?
Everybody in the house got it.
Wow.
Everybody.
Wow.
If she did not get her way. I remember one time, like I mentioned, he was paying all the bills, and he liked to work with his hands, so he was a forklift driver. And he's a little older. He's 74 now. At the time, he was in his 50s, working a physical job that a 20-year-old would be working, forklift job anyway. He didn't have enough money to get her some extravagant gift for her anniversary. And he was a baker. He's the one that taught me how to bake. And he baked her a cake and made it all nice and pretty. And he was just like, I'm sorry, I don't have anything right now, but the next check, blah, blah, blah. She got so mad. She destroyed that cake. She literally destroyed it with her hands, threw it on the wall. And then she had some weird obsession with porcelain dolls. Mm-hmm. And she went and was like smashing their faces in with her hands. And then she went and cried like a little 2-year-old. getting a pacifier taken away, like somebody had done a disservice to her.
Mm-hmm.
I have a question now.
Yeah.
If I heard you correctly, I think you said your mom has passed now, right?
Yes.
Okay. Prior to her passing, did you ever get to tell her how you felt, like with your upbringing, or discuss with her any of these things that you've told us?
No. The only time that she would talk to me is if she wanted something from me. So the first time that she had cancer, I was in the house. Second time, I was out the house when she got cancer. So she would only talk to me like if she wanted to ride somewhere to the mall or whatever. And at that point in time, I was just trying to patch up what I could. And if that was the only way that I could get to speak with her, you know, the only thing that she kind of told me was that she didn't love my dad, and that sometimes whenever you're in a marriage, you don't love somebody. She was with him for benefits, she could have insurance. But I told her plenty of times. I asked her when I was probably about 7 years old, I asked her for immunity, meaning, please don't hit me. Can I ask you without you hitting me a question? She said yes. I said, why are you two people? Because from the outside looking in, I see her different. She acted different whenever the door was closed to the house. Mm-hmm. And that was the only time I ever really got to ask her anything of that. She used to tell me the only time I could talk to her is if it had a scripture tacked along with it. So like in the morning, instead of saying good morning, it would be, this is the day the Lord has made. I will rejoice and be glad in it. That shit got old quick, boy. Like, I can't even talk to my mama. Like, I never even called her mama. I never even called her mommy. Like, that's just how much of a disconnect that we had. Mm-hmm. So, not really. No, I didn't ever get to ask her why. But especially in the very end, you know, very last time I seen her before she went to the hospital and died, I had brought her a birthday card. And she wanted to act like she couldn't see me or whatever, so she closed her eyes. So, like, I came in the room. She was up, awake, TV was on and everything, she's sitting down. I walked over to her and she closed her eyes like, oh, I fell asleep. Like, I didn't see her just close her freaking eyes, right? I just laid down the card and left. I was just like, because at this point in time, for 22 years of trying, and at that point I was 22, there wasn't really much to be said. I couldn't, there was no patching things up. She did not want it. So there was no forcing it. Couldn't even, you know what I did do? At her funeral, I couldn't even tell I was gay. I just wrote a letter and threw it in the hole with her whenever they were lowering it down, because I never got to say my last anything to her. Wow. So I just wanted her to know who I was as a person.
Yeah.
Not that being a lesbian is my identity or anything, because my name is Karissa. My name is not lesbian. So there's so much more to me than that. Like, she probably didn't even know what my favorite color was.
Mm-hmm. So what does your healing journey looks like from having an upbringing like you had? What are some of the steps that you took to try to come to the place that you are in now?
I had to do a lot of things, actually. After she died, I went to Mexico by myself, and I just for like a long moment of peace, to kind of it was like a collective sigh, like a relief. Not that I was glad that she was dead, but I'm glad that I'm never ever going to be hurt by this person ever again. Mm-hmm. Like, up until the year that she died, and I wasn't even in the house, she would still hit me whenever I came over for whatever. So I went and I was by myself. I do a lot of self-reflection. I had to tell myself that it was not my fault. I didn't do anything. I did the best that I could as a person. I had to go to counseling. I had to go to a psychiatrist. That's how I got diagnosed. Like, it was a lot of I had to forgive myself. I had to come to terms that I was never going to get that. I'm sorry, I fucked up as a mom. I'm never going to get that in my life. And I had to choose to be okay with that. Yeah. I had to self-soothe. I had to self-balm. You know what I'm saying? Like, I had to cut it off, because the trying to understand the reasoning why behind she was doing stuff. Like, that was my major in college in the first place, was psychiatry. I wanted to know why people did the things that they did, because my whole life was a circus. And there's a lot of self-reflection and really just having to come to terms with, if it wasn't your fault. Like, fucked up shit happened, yes, but it wasn't on you. Like, you didn't do that, and you can't live your life sorry for something that you didn't do. Like, that's what I told my therapist. I was just like, it's just easier to blame myself. Like, I could forgive myself, but like, not having that closure, but because it's not closure. Because even if she would have said sorry, that shit would have been raw to this day. Because what do you mean you sorry? Like, what are you gonna do about it now? You know, touch it. So it's okay. I just had to let that shit go.
Yeah. So you said at the beginning of our call that you've been wanting to tell your story, right? And you felt seen in just hearing me tell my story.
Yes.
So there was never like other spaces where you've seen people have these type of conversations and you felt seen in it? Like, this is the first time ever?
First time, man. Let me tell you, in the Black community, everybody gets hit, right?
Yeah.
Everybody gets spanked, whooped, whatever. But I kind of did not grow up in the Black community, because I went to a Christian private school. Okay. Because, you know, she was very religious. I was one of like 4 Black kids that went to that school. So whenever I was trying to get help and I would tell people this stuff was happening, they wouldn't believe me. And, oh, you're sweet, mama. You know, going back to the whole why are you two people conversation that I had with her. Because if she was really who she was, you know, outwardly at all times, they would have seen that and I would have been able to get help. But because everybody wanted to save face, and who are you going to believe, an adult or a child? Oh, she's just a problem child or whatever, which I never was. I never had that. I never had friends. I was never allowed to go nowhere, no sleepovers, no nothing. We had church every single day of the week except for Thursdays. Mm-hmm. So we was locked in where we was at.
Karissa.
Okay. And that
were you still going?
Oh, it wasn't. So like we didn't go. We went to a Black church for a little bit, but after that, it was. And obviously, in the Black church, they don't hide shit too, because everybody's doing something in the Black church, you know. So I grew up primarily in a Spanish-speaking church.
Okay.
And so I really did not have the Black community like that, because everything around me was either church or school, and school being primarily white people and church being primarily Hispanic people.
Gotcha.
So, yeah.
Well, Karissa, I would like to say that I'm glad that you found our podcast. I would like to know how you found our podcast. And TikTok? Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was an ad. The very first episode, it was, I forget her name and I'm very sorry, but it was like the first time she ate the box, and I clicked on that shit because I was like, I'm tired of hearing straight shit. I'm only listening to gay music, podcasts, movies, TV, whatever. So Hoochie Daddy come on tonight, so I'll be tuning in. yeah, that's how I found y'all. And I'm very glad I did. Especially with how you guys speak on like mental health. You guys aren't just a whole bunch of goofy silliness. It's everything. Mental health, our takes on current events and, a little bit of goofing off. And I love you guys for that. So
Well, we are proud of you, Karissa. We are proud that you are back on route for yourself with nursing school. We want you to never stop and keep going with that. Chase whatever you think your purpose is. We are reaching our 100th episode, and so I am trying to ask people, anyone that comes on this couch or speaks on a podcast, to talk about what does club culture mean to them. So I would love to ask you that question.
club culture means to me exactly that. The culture. Anytime I listen to y'all, I feel like I'm on the couch. I feel like y'all are my cousins. A lot of camaraderie. This feels very familial. It's very in tune and in touch. Like, we may not all be the same age, but we're all in tune with, the things that you speak on,
Yeah.
But not just you, but, everybody.
Yeah.
Especially, and music too. That's another big one. Like, it's so hard to find people that listen to the same music. I'm surrounded by the Swifties, and I'm like, please get away from me. But yeah, you guys, it just means family to me. It just means, me and my cousins about to sit down and smoke one and talk or whatever. Like, my cousins are fire, by the way. They just don't live close by.
Well, make sure you tune into this episode. This is episode 95, and we'll drop this Friday. We definitely did touch on Taylor Swift, so.
Oh, girl, get her out of here. I'm so sick and tired of that woman. Tired.
Well, thank you so much for supporting the podcast. We appreciate you calling in, and we appreciate you for getting vulnerable with us and sharing your story.
Absolutely.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for giving me this platform to speak on it. So.
No problem. Well, we'll see you maybe in our comment section or somewhere else, but thank you.
Thank you.
All right, bye, Karissa. Have a good rest of your night.
You too.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
All right. Well,
that was a lot.
That was a
lot to unpack.
That was
good though. That was great to hear. For all the people out there, this is what was going through my head when she was talking. Like, how people get in the comments and like to joke about shit and be like, oh, you're just a spoiled kid that needed some discipline, or you're just a spoiled kid that, you're spoiled right and you don't know, blah, blah, blah. And wait till you become a parent. Like, people that get in the comments and joke about shit like this are really sick individuals. Like, people are traumatized from their upbringing.
Yeah.
And everybody just thinks that kids are complaining or kids are being kids or kids are nagging. And like, no, people have really had traumatic experiences. And why do I have to go to the extremes of telling you my full story for you to hear me out and understand that this is not something that needs to be swept under the rug? This is something that I need to put on Front Street so other people can hear it and feel like they can relate to it.
Yeah.
That shit not funny. Like, it make you want to punch people in the head when they say stuff in the comments like, you're a spoiled brat, or shut up. It's always a story out there that's worse. Like, shut up. So I'm glad she felt comfortable enough to explain that though. That's nice.
Yeah. I'm glad that we legit have created this safe space for people to really feel a little bit more seen, because I too know what it feels like to feel like you're the only one going through something, and you would like to go to people that have similar experiences to try to weigh ideas and bounce ideas off of, because like being able to listen to my cousin Maul talk about his indiscretions with his dad and what he should do with it, and just knowing that I have my indiscretions with my parents and how I chose to deal with it, being able to like help him prep for that conversation and then have a follow-up a conversation after the conversation to comfort him. Like, we all need those type of people instead of just staying in our own little bubble or Like we really need a space like Club Culture, and I'm just glad that we are that space for certain people.
Yeah.
I forgot to ask her where she was calling in from, so we have like probably 15, 20 minutes left on some topics. So I'm gonna text her that and ask her to let me know.
What's the area code? You can look up the area code.
Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Oklahoma.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. Well, so the last thing I really want to touch on for real was this man versus bear debate that was going on Twitter. I mean, not Twitter, TikTok this week. So I'm gonna play this video.
Okay.
But for context, for anybody that does not know about the debate, someone on TikTok asked if you were stuck in a forest with the man and the bear, who would you choose to be stuck in that forest with?
Mystical already told us that a man is more dangerous than a bear.
Oh yeah, I'm cold as a lion with no hair. If you ever see me fighting in the forest with a grizzly bear, help the bear.
And right now he is on trial facing a life sentence for being deviant, bro. You heard that right. Mystical is a registered offender. In 2003, convicted of battery, lied and says it wasn't true, and then they were videotaping the horrible incident, and that sent him to prison. He served 6 years in Louisiana, and then, they got him on tax charges. He finally got out in 2010. 2 years later, he caught a misdemeanor charge for beating his partner. 2017, he caught a R-word charge. And right now, he is awaiting trial for a life sentence from a culminating combination of so much stuff since 2022. If you're not going to listen to women, if you're not going to listen to evidence, maybe some of you all who are showing your hand will listen to a registered offender. All right, goodbye.
So, what she said about Mystical is true. I just want y'all to know that now.
Oh, God. Okay.
Lizzie, if you were stuck in the forest with a bear and a man, who would you choose to be stuck in the forest with?
If I was stuck in the forest with a bear or a man, I would choose the bear.
Why?
And as soon as you asked me this question, I automatically said bear. Like, when you brought this topic up, I'm like, I'm choosing the bear. Because I'm thinking as far as strength, communication, a bear could communicate with other bears, or they know the ways of the forest. Whereas like, man, they're not sleeping in the forest every night. I'm thinking about safety, protection, strength, navigation.
So you think these bears gonna protect you in the forest? Because they all communicate with each other?
I think they gonna do better than this man can that don't know shit about the forest.
So why not just eat you?
Maybe they will. But I'm gonna get ate if I'm running through the forest with a man that don't know shit about it anyway.
Okay. I see the route that you took with this debate. I see it.
I don't know. I'm gonna get ate either way. So I'd rather just take my chances with the bear. Maybe, we could become friends on some, I don't know. Maybe we can figure something out. He'll protect me or something. Maybe he'll see me as a baby cub or something.
A baby cub
under his wing or something. I don't know.
Okay.
But I feel like the survival rate of like being protected by a bear, if I'm not doing no harm to the bear, I don't think the bear will do any harm to me. You know how they be like, well, why are you scared of the animals? The animals are more scared of you than you are of it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I've never put that to the test. I'm too afraid to. But I feel like maybe the bear would protect me better and know the ins and outs of the forest better than this man that lives in the city of Chicago and the city life could do.
Okay. Now, I would love to say neither, but because this is an either or scenario,
you're picking the man?
I wouldn't want to pick either because both of them are dangerous to society for me.
Okay.
It's actually hard for me to choose because they both dangerous. But one can really not fuck with you if you don't fuck with them, which is the bear. The other one has presented behaviors that even if you don't fuck with them, they will still fuck with you, which is the man. So it's real tough for me.
Okay.
And I know men would love for us to choose them, but they don't understand how dangerous they are and how much of a threat they pose to women that don't even fuck with them.
Right.
Like they just be walking down the street. Hey yo, I might get killed that day. So it's a hard one, but I'ma choose the bear.
You're gonna choose the bear.
Because if I do enough research, I know I can learn what to do to make sure that the bear doesn't do anything to me and just sees me as a friendly. Because all animals aren't vicious.
Right.
It's just depending on what you are doing. Like I've saw many studies, and I did just see this recent video of this dog in this what type of cheetah? Some wild cat, like a mountain lion cheetah type of cat. And they were chasing each other. Well, the cat was chasing the dog, and they jump inside. The dog jumped inside of this like window that was open, but there was no way for them to get back out of it. And so the cat also jumped in there. So the cat decided to not eat the dog, and they were just in there, but the dog was like covered in a little corner, just shivering out of fear. And the cat was just perfectly fine, just chilling. And let's say the cat is hungry. The cat still chose not to fuck with the bear because it senses that that person is no longer a threat anymore to them. And they both just in this motherfucker stuck. And zoologist was giving their theories on why the cat didn't fuck with the dog too, and they were saying stuff like that, what I just said. But it's just like, if animals have that instinct to know when to no longer see that prey as prey, why don't certain men have that instinct? So that's the only reason why I would choose the bear. It's just based off of that video that I saw with the dog and the cat.
Yeah. I think when I hear the question bear or man, I'm thinking of survival.
Yeah.
And so it's like, bear, bitch, he bigger.
Yeah.
Bear. But if it was in terms of like a team effort or like communication, then maybe I would pick the man because I can communicate with that man.
Yeah.
I know the language that man speaks.
Yeah.
And we could probably put our two heads together and figure some shit out on how to get the fuck out of here or something like that. But if it comes down to survival and navigating our way through the forest, I'm picking the bear.
Men have this certain men have this ideology where they think that they have logic and we have emotions. We lead with emotions, they lead with logic. One thing that they do not understand that it takes empathy to have logic. And that is what they severely lack. And so if we were, so let's say we did choose the man and now we're facing bears in the forest. 9 times out of 10, that man is going to lead with whatever they think is logic and try to fend off and attack the bear. If the bear doesn't even fuck with us, let's just say that the bear is coming towards our way, but they're just curious. They're just walking.
They're going to shoot it.
They're going to shoot it. They're going to want to do whatever.
Bow and arrow.
When the bear just genuinely is just curious of why is this unfamiliar being here? I've never seen it before. And probably has nothing that they want to do to as far as attacking us. But you are already leading to violence because that's just been embedded in you to do so, which lacks empathy.
I ain't gonna cap though. I see a bear in the forest coming towards me.
Shoot him.
I'm getting either I'm gonna try to get the fuck out of Dodge, or I'm probably gonna stand as still as I can. If that don't work and they still coming towards me, I'm probably gonna shoot it.
I actually think it's a bad thing to play dead if you see a bear,
because they probably gonna eat you.
I think I was reading that it's I was reading if they try to attack you. If a bear charges and attack you, then fight back with everything that you have. Do not play dead. Direct punches and kicks at the bear's face and any use of weapons like rocks and branches, use them to defend yourself. If a grizzly / brown bear charges and attack you, play dead. See, that's why I'm confused.
I don't know.
Oh, so it's a difference between black bears and grizzly and brown bears. So if it's a black bear, beat that bitch ass. If it's a grizzly brown bear, play dead. Do not fight back.
One's more aggressive than the other?
I suppose. This is coming from NPS, the National Park Service.
Okay.
Reliable source.
Right.
So, I suppose. Says cover your head and neck. If it's a grizzly/brown bear, it will help protect you during an attack. Stay still. Don't make any noises. You're trying to convince the bear that you aren't a threat to it or its cubs. Do not get up right away because the bear may still be in the area. Wait several minutes until you're sure that the bear is gone. Fighting back during an attack from a grizzly/brown bear will always worsen the attack, but if the attack persists, then fight back with everything you have. So unless this bitch ain't beating your ass.
But I'm supposed to try to fight a bear? That's insanity.
You chose the bear just like I did.
No, but I'm just saying. I'm saying based on the facts, like in here, what they saying about bears. We all off talking about damn bears, but I'm supposed to try to fight a bear.
If you don't fuck with the bear, and if the bear is not acting predatory to you, don't fight it. There's no reason for you to do anything to the bear because then you will activate it to be aggressive. So as long as you don't fuck with the motherfucker, it will not fuck with you in attack mode. That's basically what this says.
I guess. I don't know. I mean,
it says predatory bears are very different than surprise or defensive bears. If it's predatory, fight back. If it's surprise or defensive,
the fight back part is crazy to me.
Yeah.
I'm my ass.
Yeah.
5'2".
Yeah.
200 pounds supposed to fight a fucking bear.
Yes. Look, you gotta fight niggas.
I'm gonna
too.
die. Oh.
That's why I don't want to choose between either or. They both dangerous.
But I'm not physically fighting no niggas though.
Until you got to.
Oh God.
I thought this debate was hilarious, but I thought that people still needed to really focus on why women were saying the bear. Right. Regardless of if you think it was if it was outrageous for them to choose a bear over a man. Ask them why.
We're saying the bear because the bear is going to watch out for us, because the bear is going to protect us, because the bear
might not pose as a threat.
Right.
Unless I pose as a threat to the bear. But the man, if you choose to not pose as a threat, they still might fuck with you.
He said, if you ever see me fighting in the forest with a grizzly bear,
help the bear.
Help the bear. That was a famous video.
It definitely was. But that's crazy that is ringing bells right now in this damn debate.
Help the bear. Damn.
Oh, man. So I did bring, it was an episode where I had brought Ari on, which I don't know if you know Ari from Dominican.
Yeah.
But at the end of the episode, we talked about just men versus men debate and how there needs to be a man versus man debate instead of woman versus man debate. Because I use a stat that 80% of crimes committed globally are by male perpetrators. Mm-hmm. And majority of those crimes committed, they're against other men. Mm-hmm. So how social media loves to have debates about man and the woman, mm-hmm. there needs to be more of a focus on this man versus man debate because that's the actual real debate. Mm-hmm. Y'all be fucking with each other at a larger rate than what you do women, even though women get fucked with a lot and shouldn't. Y'all really hate each other. Mm-hmm. So we need to figure out what can we do to lessen the violence. And when we say we, more so y'all, what the fuck y'all gonna do to lessen the violence and actually focus on that issue right there? Mm-hmm. Why do you think that men don't see that as like a real issue, that there's a real issue with men in violence? I'm gonna even give you another example. I asked my uncle about cousin Ma on the phone. I said, Ma, if you was around a bunch of dudes that you don't know, are you automatically on go with these dudes and you just sizing them up and looking them up and down just to make sure you cool? Or can you walk into a space with dudes that you don't know and you just comfortable, you just yourself? And he says, I'm definitely probably on go. And I say, why? And he says, because, bro, you just don't ever know with niggas. And I said, okay, so you can then understand why women are always on go when it comes to men then, right? Because you're always on go. And he's like, yeah, I definitely do. Because you really just don't know what the fuck you're going to get from dudes. Mm-hmm. So if you can say that out your same mouth, then you don't never know what the hell you're going to get from a guy. So you got to always be on go. Why is there still men that I know have that same feeling when they're around other men that they do not fucking know, will then still go on social media and say, nah, it's these bitches.
I don't know. Okay, we're gonna dig into science a little bit.
Okay.
And nature.
Okay.
And even with animals, we have this thing where males size up other males, or males are in competition with other males. Always. Dogs, they like to assert their dominance. What's the bird called? I don't know what's the bird called that spreads its feathers, and it's actually a male bird, but it's like a really pretty bird. I don't remember the name.
Peacock?
Maybe it is a peacock. Lions. This is across a lot of, what do you call them? I don't want to call it races because it's not really what it's called.
Species.
Why they do it? I don't know. It's strange. But I brought up the science because maybe it has something more so to do with internal. Also, as far as the violence is concerned, I think that a lot of that is rooted in systemic issues that we have we have not solved. I don't know where to start with that, obviously, because it's rooted way back and it has a lineage for forever. But where would you like the conversation, when you say men versus men, like men need to have these conversations, like where would you like that conversation to start? Or are you wanting them to debate about like being better men? Are you wanting them to debate about where does the violence stop? Like what are you looking for in those conversations where they have men versus men?
I look for them to just be honest, for one, that yeah, there are nice guys out there, but acknowledge that the bad guys probably overpopulate the nice guys. Because even if you've never laid a hand on a woman, even if you've never gotten to a fist fight, you still can have the ability to do so, and you just haven't done it yet. The right person ain't came across for you to do it yet. So should you completely cross yourself off as a nice guy? And we haven't even touched on the ability to emotionally manipulate people, because you have womanizers. You have people that are just having multiple babies. You don't have like the outright aggressive like abusers to use as examples. You just got the people that's just making broken homes. Those aren't nice guys either. Even if they're very nice to the homeboys, they're probably shitty people to women. Those aren't nice guys either. So just be real honest about what you are deeming to be a upstanding person, or what you are deeming to just be good to you. Like, that's my homie. He cool to me. He ain't ever stole from me. So he a nice guy.
Correct.
Okay, but he beating on me.
Correct.
Or he ain't seen his kids since 2 years ago.
Right.
Those aren't nice guys. He's just nice to you.
Right.
So like actually come together and just be honest about the consensus of men and the men that there is to pick from.
Yeah.
And a lot of y'all are not nice guys, and that's the issue. That there's probably more bad guys than nice guys. Let's go through these bad guys and actually protect everybody else from those bad guys. Because all you're doing is choosing to make sure that you don't come across those bad guys. That's why you sizing them up when you're around them. Or that's why you choose to not speak on them. That ain't my business. Because if you do choose to speak on them, now you become a focus for them to focus on. I think that one of the allies that we really need to come together with as women is gay niggas that know how to fight. Because an openly gay man black man, an openly black gay man that knows how to fight, they ain't scared of shit. Mm-hmm. They know what it feels like to be marginalized. Mm-hmm. And they can fight. Mm-hmm. And they're confident in that. And so you try my homegirl, I'm beating your ass. Mm-hmm. Saucy Santana talks about all the time how he had to fight niggas over girls for him and whatnot. Like, those are our allies. And so women that choose to be homophobic, mm-hmm. you are severing ties with an ally that can really save your life. Mm-hmm. That's what I got to say to that.
Okay. Leave it to Tamaya, ladies and gentlemen. Damn. I had a really good point in my head that I was about to state.
Yeah.
And your ass just made me lose the damn train of thought.
My bad.
Oh, that's what I was gonna say. I think that you're right in saying that guys pick the I mind my business a lot mm-hmm. as a safety net. Mm-hmm. To keep themselves from being attacked mm-hmm. or to keep their business from being put on Front Street.
Yeah.
I just had a conversation with one of my close friends about how I went through a situation with a guy and his friend never held him accountable for none of the shit that he did.
Yeah.
Back to the top of the conversation. If you're close to somebody and they doing bullshit, you need to tell them they're doing bullshit. I hated that the particular friend always took up for him, or I don't get that version of him. That's his favorite line. I don't get that version of him. I never seen him like that. Nigga, duh. Of course you wouldn't. You're not in a relationship with this man.
Literally.
You not, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
You of course, because y'all have a different relationship than
he
you have
fucking
with
that. On you.
Like, just because you don't get that version of the person in front of you does not mean that that's not how that person is. Yeah. Just like how we were just on the phone with Karissa and she was saying her mom has two sides.
Yeah.
When people do shit, men in particular, I feel like they homeboys just always turn the other cheek. Like, they just be like, he tripping. That's just how he is. No, nigga, your friend is crazy. And you should probably say something. And so I don't know why men usually take that route of it's not my business, I don't care.
I think I said it in that episode with Ari. They're afraid of that other man. Now I'm finna get my ass beat. He gonna beat me up.
Because I spoke up.
He gonna beat me up. And then they're gonna say that. When I say honesty, I mean pure honesty. Like,
yeah,
I'm scared of that nigga. Like,
I feel like you're not a real to me. I feel like you're not a real friend. If you can't go to your friend and say, bro, I think you're tripping. Yeah. I think you fucked up in the head.
Yeah.
I think if you can't go to your friend and say that, G, you should really evaluate who you're friends with.
Yeah.
Or why you're friends with them. Or are y'all even friends? Because what's the point? I agree that I think that a lot of today's issues and problems could be resolved if men had honest conversations with each other.
Yep.
I agree.
Yep.
But how do we get there?
I remember asking a family member on my dad's side when I was at a funeral on that side, and I asked them, so you are close with my dad, or you appear to be close to him. You've never had a conversation with him to ask him why he's not being a father to his children. It's like, I mean, you can only do so much, or you can only say so much. It's still up to them to make the decision. So, going bowling with him, knowing that he ain't take care of the 10 kids he got, 9 kids he got, I don't think that helps him want to stop, go get his shit together, take care of his kids. I think if you still hanging out with him, you still kudos, and hey, you want to go grab a beer Saturday? That Saturday could have been the day he hung out with me. Mm-hmm. But you choosing to be around not a nice guy when you claim to be a nice guy, when you know that this nice guy could be held accountable to become a better guy, that's you're only creating a space for that nice guy, that unnice guy, to continue to not be a nice guy.
So would you have rather him said, Man, nah, we not going to get no beers. Go pick up your daughters.
You ain't got to say go pick up your daughters, but you could definitely say, I don't know if I want to hang out tonight. I think I want to go hang out with my kids. When the last time you hung out with Tamaya?
Okay.
You know, you ain't got to directly be that direct if you scared, you know, or if you don't want to just be that direct with the nigga. But like, you know, I'm finna go hang out with my girls. You know, I love being a girl dad, you know. I love hashtag, you feel me? Maybe we could get the girls together and go bowling instead of it just being me and you. Mm-hmm. It's this nice ways to try to get to the fucking point still without being direct and not get your ass smacked.
Okay. Let's say that he does. Let's put a imaginary scenario, and let's say that he does tell him to do that.
Yeah.
Let's take the girls bowling.
Yeah.
What if your daddy still don't do it?
Then that's just on my daddy, but at least you tried.
Right. Okay.
You ain't never say I tried. You ain't never said that to me.
No.
That question.
No. I get that. Okay. So, but then the question becomes, if somebody does try and the person still flops, they still don't pick up the pieces. They still don't do what they were supposed to do.
Yeah.
Let's say they're left by themselves. They have nobody around them. Mm-hmm. I kind of feel where you said an uncle? Yeah. I kind of feel where the uncle comes from when he says cousin, one of those. Uncle, cousin, whatever. Where he says there's only so much you could do. Yeah. There's only so much you could say. Yeah. To a person because they gotta want to do it themselves, right? And so I feel like this kind of goes back to the top of the conversation.
Yeah, with Chris Brown.
Yeah, with like, it's only so much you could do or say, and the rest is left for you to do the work to figure it out if that's what you want to do. Mm-hmm. If you don't do it,
I could choose to support you. I could choose not to.
Absolutely.
And that's what I was meaning with the whole bowling thing. Mm-hmm. Stop going bowling with them. Mm-hmm. You got other nice guys that you can surround yourself around and not surround yourself around deadbeats. Mm-hmm. Those aren't nice guys.
Right.
I don't believe that people like that bring life into this world deserve happiness. Because while my mother was out here struggling to support 3 children, and people are putting nothing but statistics on single mothers and households for the poverty that they live in and the inadequate time that they can spend with their children, because they're all doing it on their own. You can just be out here fucking and having more kids, sneaking and going to basketball games and not saying that you was at a basketball game, but claiming you was there. Hanging out with your homies that actually came to watch a basketball game to see me go crazy and fuck this team up, and you just quiet in the corner because you know you can't say shit to me because you ain't in my fucking life. Like, they don't deserve happiness, in my opinion. Now, you don't have to agree with me. We can all have our own beliefs. Hang out with the deadbeats. That's for me. You will not see me around any deadbeats.
Right.
When I learned that niggas are deadbeats, we are not friends anymore.
Right. So, absolutely.
That's my take on that. They don't deserve happiness. People that kill, people that R-word, unalive people, assault people, they don't deserve happiness until they rehabilitate themselves. So why the fuck are you around them and bringing them happiness? That's just me. You don't think it's weird to be around people that you know are committing heinous acts?
No.
But because they don't do it towards you, it's cool.
No, I do think it's weird. I think it's weird when people don't take care of their responsibilities or when people don't do what they're supposed to do. I actually do think that's weird. The part that I kind of struggle with is this person is going to do this whether or not I tell them 50 times or if I don't. And I can remove myself completely from the equation because I don't fuck with the shit that they're doing. Yeah. And they're still going to do it. Yeah. Because it's embedded in their character. Yeah. That's because that's what they want to do. Yeah. Nobody can make them. And so I just don't know if you can help that person at that point.
I ain't asking you to help that person. I'm asking you to not help them with creating this safe space for them to continue a lavish life.
Absolutely, I can. They're just, but what I'm saying is that if the person doesn't want to, they're not going to, and so they're just going to run to the next person, and the next person is just going to create that happiness for them. And so what I'm saying is, I don't know if stuff that happens in life like that, I don't know if I want to hold on to it and give it my energy, or care enough to say, I want you to not be happy. Because then that's negative energy that like we hold on to, or animosity that we hold on to. It's not my job to make sure that you get the punishment that you get, that you're supposed to get. You're going to get that when it comes. You're going to get your karma how you're supposed to get it. And so a lot of times I feel like we spend time holding on to energy and being in negative mental spaces because we want to control how stuff's supposed to turn out for a person who didn't do right by us. My hands are off. After I've stated how I feel, after I've told you what you've done to me that has hurt me, after you have been presented time and time again the opportunity to do what was right and you still chose not to do it, that's on you. I hope you get whatever's coming for you. Good luck.
All I'm saying is just control yourself and what you are doing around these not nice people.
Yeah, for sure. I think that men do need to have more conversations where they hold their homeboys accountable. I agree.
And make sure that when you holding niggas accountable, you holding yourself accountable. Because some of these supposed nice guys don't actually really be nice guys. They're just better than the guy that's next to them.
Well,
I don't beat on her. I just cheat on her.
Oh my God. No, for
like
real.
Literally.
Yeah, for real.
Literally.
For real.
You got anything else you want to put towards this topic before we move to the end of a gym?
Nope. Just pick the right way, not the wrong way.
Oh, so Jill Scott, when she had said, like, if women hear the stories and then they should avoid that street. I thoroughly agree with Jill Scott when she said that.
Correct.
Thoroughly agree with it. You have, when I had said you got people that say, well, he the finest crackhead I know. You're the problem. You could be the next victim.
Right.
You are the problem.
Yeah.
It is definitely your responsibility to not go to people that you have learned are probably not the most rehabilitated being. That ain't nobody's fault but your fault.
I agree.
Now you can be like, oh, well, my mom, my dad, they were like that, so that's what I think love is. That's still something you have to work in yourself to decondition.
I saw a post on Facebook somewhere to the point of, you know, a lot of times we put ourselves in certain situations and we're pissed about the outcomes. But we knew better before we get into that motherfucker. Like, we could prevent a lot of the stuff that happens to us if we took accountability for the shit that we are putting ourselves in. If we took time to took time to evaluate the situation before we put ourselves in the shit. Like, you knew that shit was wrong. You knew that shit was ass breakfast. You knew that shit didn't feel right when you started it. Why would you go through with it knowing that it probably wasn't the best situation to begin with?
Now, I feel like people would try to flip that especially when it comes to sexual assault. Oh, she was wearing revealing clothes. She should have known not to be wearing that around some men. We don't know that man has a history of wanting to rape people. We just know that she was looking good as hell that day. And she wanted to wear that fucking dress. That don't mean that she should have got R-worded. So I just want to make sure we throw that out there. That's also her
personal decision to wear whatever she wants to wear. And he made the decision to try to R-word somebody. Those are very two different things. She didn't put herself in that situation. That situation came onto her. So, with that being said,
I just had to make sure, because
don't fucking do that.
Sorry. But do you got any gems you would like to drop, Lizzie Pooh?
Any gems? Let's see. I got a mental health gem.
Okay.
I feel like grief has been surrounding me lately a lot.
Okay.
A lot. Like, I feel like a lot of death has been like around me. And because I am the friend that I am there every time somebody decides that it's their time to go. If you are that friend who is there for everyone in their time of grief, make sure you take your mental space for you too. And if you are the friend who is grieving, make sure you seek out your resources. Because your friend who is helping you also has their own mental things going on, their own life things to deal with. So make sure that both parties are doing what they need to do so that everybody flourishes. Grief is not light, and every day it's a different wave. Some days you're good, some days you're bad. But it's one of those things that you can't avoid. People are gonna pass. And so just make sure you take care of yourself. If you are in a season of grief, it is okay not to be okay. And just make sure you take care of yourself as much as possible.
For sure. I approve that message.
Yeah.
I have a gym. I wrote it down.
Okay.
So I'm always in our comment session.
Section.
Yes. And I just see so many perspectives. And so I have this spiel that I would just like to say. So we all have our opinions. We all have our beliefs. And I believe that everyone should have their own, right? But me and Rocky was also talking about this at the bowling alley. Like, people have this misconception that opinions can be whatever the hell they think that they want to think, when opinions are based off of facts. It's based off of a fact. So, or there has to be some type of reasoning behind it. It can't just because you think the sky is blue because you think the sky is blue. You have to have a why behind it. So just to say, well, I think all gay people should go to hell, there should be a why behind it, not just because you think that all gay people should go to hell. Right. So my gem for this episode is, I agree that everyone should have their own beliefs and opinion, but I disagree that I disagree that people should have beliefs that harm others. And I disagree that you should weaponize your beliefs to harm others. And so, for an example, let's say that somebody does disagree with homosexuality. And they say that it's not of God. And I'm just using homosexuality as an example. You can either choose to hate me because I agree with homosexuality, and you can even choose to, like, not even want to fuck with me because I choose to be a homosexual. That's great. Cool. You have the freedom to believe and do whatever you want to do. But it becomes very, like, it becomes very confusing to me when you then have beliefs that align with harming others, because being homosexual does not harm anybody at all. And so when we start talking about beliefs and opinions, my fine line between it is, you can believe whatever the fuck you want to believe, but when your belief starts with harming others, that's when it's like, oh, right, bruh. That's when we can't be friends. That's when we can't actually disagree to agree. Like, nah, it's over with after that conversation. Your belief shouldn't harm other people. Like, you shouldn't think that, well, everybody should get I'm pro-choice or I'm pro-life. Which one is it when you are against abortions? What is it? Pro-life. I'm pro-life. Nobody should be able to get abortions when that abortion might save that woman's life. So, like, maybe your belief has a flaw to it, and you should open it up some, you know, because sometimes abortion saves lives. So to cancel out all abortions is stupid. And I'm being, like, really harsh when I say stupid, because that shit's stupid. So when people choose to, and I'm tying this back into the whole Chris Brown topic that we had earlier, when you choose to believe in being friends or supporters of a serial abuser or an assaulter because he made great music or he's good to you or you ain't gonna never meet that nigga, but that nigga music been the soundtrack to my childhood. That's totally unfair when, like the people that was talking to Jill Scott, that nigga has abused other people. And so those people will forever be affected by their decisions, but because you just want to listen to the nigga rap, I'm still fuck with him. That belief is just, it has flaws. So you probably should think about that belief a little bit because it's harmful to the greater community.
Right.
So yeah, that's my gem that I would like to drop.
Okay. Well,
this was a very eventful episode 95.
Yeah. Big one.
If you're on YouTube, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and hit that bell. And if you're on your favorite streaming platform, thank you for tuning in and make sure you leave us a rating. Peace.
Oh.
Close the door, babe. Close the door. Where's my good boy? Close the door. Close the door, sweetie. Close the door. All the way, hon. All the way, baby.